In this part 2 of my Toyota Hilux Bucky build video, we're going to be discussing the Alucab canopy on the back and all the different parts that come with the canopy, and just discussing, what made me choose Alucab over other brands. Do I have any regrets or things I would change? Any strengths and weaknesses with the product, where I got it fitted. We're not going to talk too much about some of the internal Alucab products like the drawer system and the fridge slide and all of that. We'll keep that for the next video, which is all the internal fittings. We're just going to be talking about the canopy itself and the cupboards and all of that. But let's get to it. If you haven't seen my previous video, which is more of an overview of this whole project, I'll put the link down below. But for those of you who just want to see the canopy, let's take a look. I guess the first question is, why would you want a canopy in the first place? And the answer to that is, I guess, just for more storage space. I had a tonneau cover on before this, but the tonneau cover, it's permission to take on and off. You didn't have that much storage capacity. It didn't seal very well against dust at all. And to try and access stuff, you basically had to crawl inside like a worm, which is not ideal. The canopy just allows you to store more. So why would you want an aluminium canopy, or aluminum if you're American, or a steel canopy as opposed to a fiberglass canopy? Well, firstly, there's not that much of a weight difference. There might be a slight price difference, but what you get for it, I think, is a lot better. Aluminium canopy, the main thing for me is just being able to access stuff. So, for example, on the side, normal fiberglass canopy, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to get everything from the back. Whereas this one, I can just pop stuff open and access stuff that's right over here on this side. And for me, that's helpful because access is everything. If you're camping and you've got to dig around for stuff, it's not a fun experience. You don't get to use everything. Whereas this, much more user-friendly. And then, of course, with everything inside of the cupboard units on the side, it basically becomes like different rooms of a house. You've got your kitchen here, you've got your recovery gear on the other side, you've got drawer systems where you've compartmentalized your food and I can keep guns in one of them, which I'll show you a bit later. And just at the end of the day, a very user-friendly system. And then lastly, the aluminium and steel canopies can hold a lot on the roof. They're very strong. So I can put the roof rack on the top and I can load it pretty heavy, and I don't have to worry about it, which is great. So why Alucab as a brand? Well, Alucab is one of the pioneers of aluminium canopies. They've been doing it for a long time. They've got a good reputation, and they're a local South African brand that's, I'm not just supporting them because they're local, but they're very successful overseas, in Australia, in the US. They've got a lot of really innovative projects and products. So they were one of the logical choices. There were some others as well that I was considering. Bush Tech in South Africa makes some really great stuff. RSI is probably the best out there. It cost a bit more than this, and in hindsight, it may have been the better choice. But my decision to go with Alucab was basically down to the fact that there were so many aftermarket products available for this unit. If I could have gone with the RSI for the same price, I probably would have. I think as a canopy in itself, it's probably better, but nothing wrong with this decision. I got this canopy installed at 4x4 Mega World. Installation on the canopy itself is not that difficult, and it attaches in a way where it doesn't damage the load bin at all. You can take off the canopy pretty easily. So if I ever want to convert this back into like a hunting truck, then I can do that. But to be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to need to do that. I really like it the way it is. When you order a canopy like this, it comes with the option of having like cupboard units that fit onto the sides. And for me, that was extremely helpful because, as I mentioned, the whole point of a canopy is accessibility and being able to get to stuff quickly, whether it's hunting stuff or camping stuff or recovery gear when you're stuck somewhere on a trail. So on this side, I wanted to have the kitchen unit. Reason for that is the awning comes over here. So I want to be able to sit in the shade, make my coffee, cook a meal. If it starts raining, I can cook a meal undercover, whereas on the other side I wouldn't be undercover, and just have everything in one place. So that was the reason for having the kitchen unit here. And the kitchen unit basically from Alucab comes with everything. So everything you see in here, the mugs, the compartments for coffee and tea, it comes with a pot, it comes with a utensil kit, it comes with plates and bowls and utensils and cups and pretty much everything. I just added some of the coffee making equipment and a second utensil kit for big knives and stuff, but it pretty much covers everything, and I'm really happy with it. It does cost a bit, but it really has made life on the road much easier. Even if it's just stopping for a cup of coffee on the side of a tar road on a long journey, it literally takes me like a few seconds to open the awning and get out a camping chair and make some coffee, and it doesn't waste that much time. So it's really helpful to have. And then of course I've wired it up with some lighting and stuff, which is fantastic when camping, but we'll talk about that in the electrical system video. And let me actually show you this little slide tail here quickly. Hold on a second. So this table stows away right here next to my fridge. It's held in place by a little piece of elastic, and I can very easily take it out, and it slides right in here. So it's a perfect solution for if you want to make a cup of coffee on the side of the road. You bring this guy out, you put your camp stove on here, which I've got stowed away right here where it's easy to access, and I can take out my coffee stuff, get out the water and make myself a nice cup of coffee, or if you're at the campsite, cook a meal. So that's great to have. The Alucab also has all these rails inside for 8mm bolts, which makes it quite modular. So I've pretty much just made a table slide over here where I can put my table in and tie it down. Just because of all that modularity, it was very, very easy to do. And then this side I've pretty much set up as a place where I can charge stuff and store some of the stuff that I need to access on the road. So for example, I know it says here Air Venturi Nomad. This is not the Air Venturi Nomad. I'm just using this bag, but I've got a 160 litre per minute compressor here that I use to inflate my tires, which I use all the time, so that's easy to access. I've got some connections here for this guy, which is an external like battery pack with a 300 watt inverter, where I can charge stuff like my camera batteries or my drone batteries or my phone. This is tethered to the main battery, and I can remove it and put it on a camp table if I want. But this is tied down here in this section, and it's really easy to get to. As with the other side and the back, got the lights here as well. And then right over here, where it's easy to access, I've got a 40 litre water tank, which is strapped down, and there's a hose that is gravity fed to the back where there's a tap, where I can easily access the water. But probably talk more about that in the internal fittings video. And as we bring the canopy section of this series to an end, is there anything I would change about the Alucab canopy? The one downside is because it's black, it does get pretty hot inside, and obviously that's not good for your battery or for the efficiency of your fridge and freezer. Other canopy manufacturers offer insulation kits which just keep it insulated inside. I think it'd be great if Alucab could offer that, or maybe they do and I don't know about it. And maybe just the way it's sealed. I think having a positive pressure valve on top and just to help stop that dust get in would be another great feature to have. I feel like this canopy, although it's very well built, is probably a little bit outdated. Like the RSI, for example, I think is a bit more technologically advanced, but overall I'm happy with it. And you must know that I've paid in full for everything that I've installed here. None of this was sponsored, so everything you hear there's no reason for me to not tell you the truth. If anyone wants to sponsor me, who makes these products, that would be awesome. But at least you guys know now that I've chosen these brands haven't chosen me. And that's where we're going to end this video. Stay tuned for the next one, which will be the internal fittings inside the canopy. I'll just explain how this has made my life so much easier, and make sure you subscribe to see that. See you next time.